How have the fans reacted to Captain Pike?
Great. I mean, it's the strongest, it's without a doubt the strongest reaction I've had from anything I've ever done.
Were you worried in the
Uh,
beginning?
yeah, I was more worried about coming into Discovery, the previous show, in its second season, because I'd never really been the new kid before on a show. And it's hard to be the new kid, but they were great and brought me right into it. And I had there's so little to go on with the character because there wasn't a lot of material on the character at that time. That I just sort of had to trust the writers, and the character ended up being somewhat close to my skin. But I got through it pretty quick.
Was there a concern that because when I was doing Smallville, I didn't have to look at Instagram and see people bashing Lex Luthor and what is he doing as
Right.
Lex Luthor? And I didn't have to worry about that at least. I just, there was no instant reactions. Instagram wasn't around and all that. But with you, you jump into this role, and I'm sure you typed a little bit and wanted to see what some of the reactions were.
Sure.
Were
Yeah.
were, were they did they embrace your character pretty quickly?
Yeah. Yeah. It was I mean they were the producers had been planning on uh floating the idea of an episode to the company. I mean, the idea of a new show to the company, and they didn't tell me, thank God. Um, and so the fans, not knowing that, the fans still sort of started asking for a Pike centered show, a prequel to TOS that garnered a lot of support online. And really, I think, the networks that are watching, there was a time when they weren't paying attention to phone calls and letters and text and, social media. Now they are.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of
Sure
fan
they are.
mail?
Not a ton. No,
Yeah, fan
no,
mail isn't what it used to be. I still get fan mail, but it's not like, remember in the day you'd hear people get boxes and boxes of
right.
letters and things like that.
Yeah, no, but I think that's because the stratification of the TV audience across a variety of mini niches has lowered the fan base, and so it doesn't turn into as much of a water cooler type of show that often, right? And so I get, but I've also like learned to start separating like what is clearly an autograph hunter and what is actually a fan.
Yeah,
Pretty easy
the
to
guys who
determine.
come up to you at the airport and they say, sign this box right here, this right here. And then,
Sign this blank slate with a
yes.
bright pen so that I can lift it and put
and
it
then
over here.
and then they have like five other ones, and you're like, oh, I'll just sign this one, or I go, all right, who's this for? I'm happy to sign whoever it's for. But sometimes they'll come back and they're like wearing a wig, or they're coming come back and they're like, hey, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I just saw you. Why are you doing that? Come on, man. Just, I signed it for you. Is there a sense of responsibility to the original series and actors, or are you more interested in paving your own path? And do you feel that way for the other characters as well, the other actors?
Well, within an extent, I mean, in terms of the character, yes, because the character's in a very different part of his life than in TOS. Um, but no, I actually I work really well within limitations. I think every artist needs limitations, and at this point, Star Trek is almost its own genre, and I think you have to study it if you want to do it
You
correctly.
studied it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I was a fan. I grew up watching TOS in syndication,
Wow, I
so
didn't
I knew.
know that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.